In a world where worlds collide, there is one man on a mission to tell the world the fuck real music is. October 22nd. Prepare with your host now. Welcome to Quarantine&rap. My name is Ivy from Team Raw Zone. I'm here to introduce to you the man, the myth, the legend, hailing from Bronx, New York, Mr. 1022 himself, Ray Pearson, everyone.
Thank you. Welcome. We back. Shouts to Katie for that awesome fucking intro. Quarantine&rap. We here. It's Thursday. We had a special time tonight for a reason. Man, just just a quick reminder. October 22nd, live from Crave Cave, New Jersey. I have my live stream EP listening event. She's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have 3 performers. We're gonna listen to some dope ass hip hop. If y'all not aware, this is a project that I did with Famine. Due to COVID ruining every single plan that I had for my original project, how was I able to flip this situation, and it hit me? Pull 5 songs from the project, EP them motherfuckers. That'll build up to the original project that was supposed to drop this year. And we feeling good. We 78 pounds down, ladies and gentlemen. Quarantine&rap tonight. I got to do it big. I had to do it special. I was a guest on her show recently. So I was like, nah, man, that ain't enough. That ain't enough, Bri. Nah, Holmes. Compay. I got Daniree fucking joining me tonight. We talking hip hop. We talking music. We talking podcast. We talking being Puerto Rican. I believe she's Scorpio too. Scorpio gang. Anyways, without further ado, welcome to Quarantine&rap. Daniree.
Hey,
Daniree.
Hey, Daniree is in the building. Shut it.
out here like breaking news. Know what I mean?
Hey, look at that.
How are you,
Daniree,
Ray?
welcome.
One more
Hi,
round of
doing
applause
good.
for her.
And
Yes.
Ivy. Hi, Ivy.
Hi,
Thank you so
boo.
much. Thank you guys so much for having me.
I had to show you love.
Thank you for joining Quarantine&rap.
Yes.
You know what's crazy? The crazy thing about Quarantine&rap is like, I always try to give Katie her flowers because I've mentioned it before, like people don't realize the many hats that she be wearing.
Big facts.
And I saw the video recently with Yop and DTF, and she was handling business as how she's supposed to be handling her
As
business.
usual, multitasking like crazy. The woman doesn't know how to stop. She was literally on station head doing the Clash while also handling things at DTF. So salute to her. Oh my gosh, she did it.
And me driving her crazy with the 50 million messages I constantly send her.
Yeah.
It's just, shouts to Katie, yo. Like, and I say that because in a way it's almost like it's like the hip hop Howard Stern show. It's like Howard Stern, and then you got Katie who she always she chimes in here and there, just like this lady from the Howard Stern show.
Big facts.
So shouts to Katie, yo. Like all this, the logo in the background.
She does it all.
Honestly,
she does it all.
Yes.
Because we're gonna bring the Daniree Show here. Listen, man, I'm trying to get Daniree on my shit.
Show.
Can I get me an extra Daniree hour? Like The fuck?
She's been soliciting me for a show for a while, so we gotta keep the lock. Stay tuned, see what happens. You listen, you know the vibe. Katie and I linked up very quickly, as did you and I. We met at Check It. We had an amazing time. Shout out to Sade. She put that together. It's just an
Shouts to
amazing.
Sade.
Yeah, man, it's all family vibes. So absolutely, I
I'm
definitely
I'm
gotta come
I'm
through.
quiet. I'm quietly mad at Sade.
Uh-oh. What you mean?
No. It's a joke.
Oh,
I
okay.
was Katie has been whipping my ass about getting a backdrop, and I remember Check It having a backdrop, and I was trying to
Mm-hmm.
find out what was the fucking measurements of the Check It backdrop, but you know, Sade left me unseen.
Listen,
So Katie will still bother him.
next time you just
Nah,
gotta do the Puerto Rican thing and show up with the tape measure. Just at the end
I
of
was
the
just about
night.
to say that. I was like, "Yo, Sade, give me a second." And just like, all right, that's
Right.
what it is.
That's it.
Like that's for leaving me on red.
Can
Danny,
I be there
I
when you
know.
do that?
I don't
Well,
think you'd want to be
the
there
funny
for
thing
that.
the funny thing is that
It,
I just saw a few stories about Check It coming back, so
Yes.
I'm very happy about that.
Me too.
Shit,
Me
work. I
too. It's
mean,
always a good
if
vibe.
Sade gives me the permission, I might just have to bring my little phone tripod and do quarantine and rap live and live broadcast the show. I mean, that's if
That's
Sade gives me the permission.
okay. We're gonna have to run up on the queen and find out.
I mean, listen, man. You're just trying to give us more work right now. Like, damn, like people don't got lives right now. Now they gotta deal with your goddamn live stream on a fucking
On
international
a
basis.
Thursday, we about 3 weeks away from the EP listeners. So I had to, I gotta pump it up. Pause.
Yes.
That's what she
Easy,
said. That's what she said.
easy, pump it up.
That's gonna be in Elizabeth, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yep.
We're gonna have to
It's gonna
come
be in
out to
Elizabeth.
Jersey. Well, I'm already
Yo,
here.
Danny Ray. Speaking of the Danny Ray show,
Yes.
um, like, could you tell everybody more about your show and what you focus on for your show?
Okay, so I have multiple shows right now. My focus has been my weekly show from Sunday through Thursday, which is the Danny Show, and that's available on Station Head, rather via the Corner Radio. Rather, I messed this whole thing up. I'm sorry, my dyslexia is kicking in. It's 10 p.m. Y'all just gonna have to bear with me. So the show is called the Danny Show on Corner Radio, powered by Station Head, and that's Sunday through Thursdays at 9 p.m. So for my iOS users, they can download the Station Head app, search and follow Corner Radio, and tune in there at 9 p.m. and they can catch me there. And then for my non-iOS users, there's a link that's in my bio on my IG. You could tap that and you could tune right in. So that's
Tap
what I've
that
been
ticket.
really. Yes, you got to tap the ticket. The admission is free. That's my line on the show. I have my little ticket emoji in the corner. You've seen it, Ray. Everybody taps on it,
Yeah,
and it's just like it's mayhem. It's mayhem, but in a organized chaos kind of way, and super fun. I play a lot of urban Latino music as well as just hip hop, R&B, and I kind of just give like a mezcla of everything. You know what I'm saying? I pull from a little bit of everywhere. And then, of course, I have the Danny Ray selection, which is a segment where I highlight one independent artist and their record that they're promoting. So it's a lot of fun. I love the fact that it's interactive. It's super different from mainstream radio in the sense that it is a social media platform radio. So you're actually able to interact with listeners as you're doing the live broadcast, which is so dope. And shout outs to Hala Marak and Corey Giles. They're program directors of Corner Radio, and they're the ones that gave me my start. So it's an awesome platform, and I'm looking forward to everything that's coming along with it.
and what inspired you to even go to being a vocalist? What inspired you to even get into the field of media?
Well, and it's funny you should bring that up. Yeah, I started out singing. I began at the age of 5, and my first impromptu performance was actually with Mark Anthony at Orchard Beach. And you being from the Bronx, I know you can appreciate that. So, I just from there I kept singing and kept doing that. But I kind of felt like the industry required me to be a certain version of myself that I couldn't identify with yet. At least at that time, I was much younger, and I was just like, I don't really think that this is cut out for me. I love music for the purpose of singing and because I have a passion for it, but I didn't know exactly if I wanted to transition that into artistry per se. That being said, my
Mm.
grandfather had suggested to me that I had a voice for radio and television, and he thought that maybe journalism and media would be a good outlet for me. And it just so happened by circumstance, um, I ended up getting kicked out of my high school choir my senior year, and I ended up getting picked up to do the morning announcements on our morning television like show. So it was cool. That kind of like forced me into what I had already thought about getting into. And from 17 on, I just kept building with media and going to school and studying and working the craft and creating my own platforms because it was hard for me to catch that break, as they would say. I wasn't getting picked up by other mainstream radio stations after college like I had thought. So I said, well, am I going to sit here and waste my time or am I going to keep it moving? And I kept it moving. I
That's
lost you,
dope.
Ray.
Nah. So what has been your biggest challenge being media?
My biggest challenge being media has been, I would say, breaking the subtle glass ceilings that exist in the media industry for women. I believe that sometimes we get portrayed a certain way when we have a certain personality, or if we happen to be very assertive or very much in tune of what it is that we're looking for. You can kind of get labeled, you know, what you get labeled normally, which is you're difficult to work with, or oh, she's this, she's that, and the third. We won't fill in our own blanks on that, but I really have just had to learn how to overcome that. It's not what they call you; it's what you answer to, and I really had
Right.
to get that mindset into my brain and understand that I'm not the cup of tea for everybody, but that doesn't mean that I'm not someone's favorite beverage. You know what I mean? So I just kept it moving like that.
And whether it been the Daniree Show or hosting an event or the La Cocina podcast, have you ever come across the guest where at the end it was like, "Yo, never again."
I have. That does not. That's
I
not
mean, listen, I can't say I've had a horrendous experience with any one person, and I would never, even if I did, I would never reveal the name. That's just not cool. We protect the innocent on the show, even if they're not innocent. But um, I can say that I've had some uncomfortable ones where I just felt like maybe this person wasn't resonating with the questions that I was giving, or maybe I usually, because I'm such a perfectionist, I'll place blame on myself before I ever would someone else. So I would really question, was it something that I did as an interviewer that didn't make them feel comfortable enough, that kind of thing. But no, I
Hmm.
can't really say that I've had an experience where it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't even work with this person ever. Nah, that I've been blessed.
And have you ever have you ever looked at anybody or even studied like maybe like an Angie Martinez or Wendy Reynolds? Like, have you ever looked at anybody who's in that profession and was
Hmm.
like, maybe I can take this. You're the student, so you're taking bits and pieces from all your teachers. So that, yo, I
Hmm.
can take this from this person and flip it into my own style, because it's
Yeah.
almost like when you're inspired, like when you're an artist and you're inspired by a major artist, sometimes you don't tend to do it on purpose, but it's almost like there's bit, people can tell. So
Hmm.
like, is there anybody who you looked up to and is like, yo, like I was a student to this person throughout my whole journey.
I can't say there's any one person. I could definitely say there's quite a few people. Not many people know this, but when I first started, I wanted to be an anchor woman. That was like my thing. I was like, oh, I want to do the news. And then time went on. I was like, oh no, I don't want to do that. But I loved Katie Couric from the Today Show back in the 90s. I used to watch her all the time, and I just loved how she related to her audience, and she was like America's sweetheart, and everybody just loved listening to her. Between her, of course, Angie Martinez, I mean, that's a given. She just has this voice that is just, it's the voice of New York. It's distinctive. There's no mistaking it. When I think of women such as Angie Martinez, even Laura Stiles, Angela Yee, these women have, you know, done so much to pioneer and champion as females in this media industry. I don't think I really don't think there's a lot of people that really understand the ins and outs and what goes into it and what you as a female have to encounter in your day to day, you know? So I salute those women. Um, but I would definitely say Angie Martinez, of course, Katie Couric, Oprah Winfrey, of course. Um, a lot of course, you're gonna find a lot of heavily news influence in me, and it's because I have been a student of the craft. You know, I got my associates in broadcasting. I have my BA in public relations. I love school. I'm such a damn nerd. But yeah, it's that's what it's been
Who
really.
who would be your, if you can interview this person tomorrow and it's like, yo, like I don't have to interview another soul for the rest of my life. Who is that interview for you?
Who's your end all be all?
Oh my gosh. That's such a loaded question. Um, wow.
That's
I
why
have
we
to.
asked it.
I know. I wasn't expecting this type of question. It's a great question.
This is quarantine. This is quarantine and rap.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm just trying to think of a name right now that I really feel like is worth the end all be all. Like if I can't do it ever again, I feel like, and I know
This is
this is gonna.
Rocky Balboa's final bow. This is the Carl Channing Rocky. Who is Danny Ray's Apollo
Would
Creed Drago? Like who is Danny Ray's, like that's it. Like you don't have to prove anything to anybody because you did this.
Um, It'll probably be a name that no one would expect, but I think that if I were to have the opportunity to interview Whoopi Goldberg or to sit down in the same room as Whoopi Goldberg as like a fellow Scorpio, she is queen. That to me is like pivotal. The way that she handles herself as a moderator on The View, the way that she's entertained the masses over the years in her music and her movies, and it's iconic. Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg, hands down. I'll be cool with just, all right, I'm done.
Danny, it was it is
That's a
it
name I wasn't expecting.
I told you it wasn't a name you were expecting. I told you that. But listen, first things first, she is one of the most, for me, one of the most strongest, intelligent women in Hollywood. And she's just so knowledgeable on so many different areas of what's going on, you know, in our society and in our worlds. And I just feel like she's definitely one of those people that I would love to sit down with and pick her brain.
yo, Danny, what about if you had to cover as a journalist, right? We
Mm-hmm.
all had at one point specific events, specific timelines we wish we were on the media team to cover. If you could pick any time with any person, so it could be dead or alive, past, present, or future, what would you want to cover?
Whew. Um, Maybe this might be a controversial answer, but I only loved the results of the aftermath and how united we were. So I would say 9/11. As devastating and as
Mm.
heartbreaking and tragic as that moment was, I had never seen such unity like that in our nation. I don't think we've seen that in a long time. So if you could take me back to any moment, take me there so that that way um, we can console the people that need to be consoled, hear the stories that need to be heard.
I mean, and
Definitely.
I think that's dope too, because I remember when I did read Angie Martinez's book. Um,
Hmm.
Dope book for anyone that does look to read about journalism and that in that industry, especially the hip hop industry.
Yeah.
See everything through her eyes was definitely a good one. But when she talked about 9/11, that whole area where how 97 is
Hmm.
near the Twin Towers.
Right.
So they barricaded that area off. So Angie detailed in the book about her and I think two other people pretty much told the officers, I don't care what you say right now. I'm going to go do my job because at this time, we need to really heal the people as opposed to staying quiet.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I remember it was personalities such as Angie Martinez, such as, Funk Flex and all these people getting on Hot 97 and helping us out, helping us heal. And I think that was, as sad of a time as it was, it had its beautiful points too. Definitely.
I think that if you would have that type of story would have definitely like skyrocketed, the Danny Ray name, that would have definitely you would have definitely taken off, um had that been something that you would have covered.
Yeah, well, then what it definitely wouldn't be for the purpose of that. It would just be for the purpose of healing, man, because that was so.
Nah, but
It's,
it's sometimes when people just do things, they don't do it for the fame or whatever comes with it. It's just like, I'm not gonna you either gonna talk about it or you're gonna go out there be on foot like people probably against this man, but when that whole shit happened, Rudy Giuliani was out there.
yeah,
But
So
Giuliani was out
you
there
got the
forever.
people who,
Like Giuliani wasn't just
yeah,
out
but
there for
it's
nine
just,
11.
no, I know, but it's just there are people who do it because of like, oh, this was gonna get me the mansion,
right.
and you got the people who's like, you know what, I'm on the front lines with my people. We're in this together, so I'm out there with them,
Yeah, it's true.
and and those are the two types of people there are in this world. And
Yeah.
speaking on that tragedy,
Mm.
how's everything that's happening today with the George Floyd situation, like everything with the that's
With the
happening
Black Lives
to
Matter
the
movement.
urban. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really trying to say the Black Lives Matter movement,
Uh
but
huh.
what it stands for. Like,
Yeah.
how does that affect you, being Hispanic?
Well, it affects me tremendously because I'm Hispanic. Many people would argue and say that, it doesn't affect them being Latino, but I completely disagree. I consider myself to be an Afro Latina Puerto Rican, and I'm absolutely disgusted with the current state of our country, with what's happened. I've had the honor and the privilege to stand side by side amongst a few people in Newark during the protest, the times that we were having them here in New Jersey, as well as in Perth Amboy. And I can say with utmost certainty that they were beautiful demonstrations, peaceful protests. And we were there with just that cause in mind, making sure that people understand that what is happening and what has happened is unjust. And I give my heart really bleeds for the Black community right now. With all that they've had to endure with just this past year alone, and we're not even including all the other years that have came prior. So it's definitely something that is a big issue.
Definitely. Um, let's shift gears. Let's talk music.
Okay.
Danny, who are
Yes.
some of your favorite artists?
Oh my gosh, some of my favorite artists off the top: Tony Braxton, Amy Winehouse, Lauryn Hill, uh, Jesse Reyes, Kalani. I just feel like a mix between the veteran artists, the veteran divas that have been doing it for a while, and then of course some of our modern uh, R&B hip hop princesses of today. Definitely a combination of the two, but I also have a deep love for jazz music, so that's why I had to throw Amy in there as well. She just had that beautiful, sultry, rich tone that you just don't hear anymore. So a little bit of that.
Yeah, I remember watching that documentary that came out for Amy
Yeah.
Winehouse. And I think for like 2 days straight, like I just couldn't get her off of my mind.
Yeah. It was
It was
sad.
it
It
was
was tough because she had so much promise and so much potential, and America fell in love with her instantly. And it's unfortunate, but her music is just bar none. Like you can't mistake it even to this day. So this is a lot.
Word. And R&B, like, how do you feel about, because you know obviously mainstream pushes certain artists and they give them the R&B label, just how they give some of these rappers or the best new rapper, or you're a, he's on best MCs, the top 10 MCs list. Like, how do you feel about the today's R&B versus actual R&B?
This is a loaded one too. I don't want to be out here sounding like MA, but I believe R&B exists. I will say that it's just very different. I feel like R&B from back in the day, wherever day you pick from that isn't today, it obviously had a little bit. Well, rather, I can't say obviously. For me, it had a little bit more soul. It had more meaning. There was substance in the lyrics. There was feeling, there was emotion, there was things that we normally don't speak on today, real
Right.
love, true love, those kind of things don't always matter to our society today, if that's safe to say. So
Who would you
I
say was the
mhm.
like who would you say was the last group that came close to a Boyz II Men?
The last group that came close to
Yeah.
a, I don't think I don't know, I don't think
No,
there's
not
ever been.
not not legacy wise, but
Hmm.
that kind of music. Like the only group coming to mind right now, and
Hmm.
there might have been another group, but Day 26.
That was actually the group I had in mind. I shit you
I
not. But my only reason as to why I wasn't gonna say them was because I really feel like they didn't have enough hits, but they definitely had the vocal potential. But we just didn't get to see
right,
enough of it. I agree with that. I think
right.
that's fair. Yeah,
Yeah, I think Day 26 might have been the last group
yeah,
that the world got to see that could have possibly, like, potentially went on that path, but like you said, like we it was taken from us.
yeah. That got me going. Record. I believe they came back. They came out with that what back in like '07 or '08, something like that. That record was fire, but outside of Day 26, anybody else that came remotely close? Nah, I don't think so.
No, because then it's like, I don't. It's just like where the hip hop that I grew up on. There's not enough outlets um for because there's a crowd for everything,
Right.
but because mainstream media, they force feed you what the same 10, 12 songs every 60 minutes. We miss out on a lot of great artists, and we might
Absolutely.
bump into them when it randomly plays on Spotify, or you randomly see it pop up on YouTube. um like, I don't think R&B is dead. I just
Mm.
think that the R&B that makes it R&B, it's not there's not enough outlets for it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I rather is that there's not many outlets for it, or there's not many outlets that we're aware of, because I don't know. The
Well,
internet
yeah,
is
once
such a
again, because
vast, yeah, it's such a vast place. I think it really comes down to promotion. It comes down to marketing. It comes down to how you spin it. It comes down to who's spinning your records. There's a lot of
true, because
factors.
then because I say it a few times, is I call it the tri-state bubble,
Mm,
because
that's a good term.
we only know what we're able to tune into. And then it's like the only R&B, and I might even get the station wrong. It's the station that the Steve Harvey show was on.
WBLS?
I believe so. I
I
believe
think it
so.
is. Yeah.
But then it's like, when you tune into that station, it's like, oh man, like all these great records. It kind of makes it seem like a throwback station, an outdated throwback station. And I'm not, and that's not what I'm calling that music, but it's almost like the way it's painted.
Yeah.
because it's like if you're not doing an 808 trap record with auto tune on your voice, then it's like you're not R&B. You're considered, I don't know, soul or R&B soul. Like you're
Trap
not
soul. Yeah.
the standard on the today's standard R&B, which is super corny. Because
Right.
I think that music is missing.
Well,
Then you're up at two,
unlike
3 in the morning.
today, right? I mean, unlike back then, you were getting bodies of work not at the rapid rate you're getting them now. I mean,
Right,
the industry right now, I mean, not to say that it's overly saturated, but yeah, it kind of is when you're thinking about the mainstream artists, then you're thinking about, the B and C artists, and then you're thinking about, all of the other just starting or the up and coming or the independents or the people that are out there on their own trying to push their own music. It's a lot. It's a lot to go through. So, I salute these artists that are doing it their own way. You know what I mean? Because that's one
mhm.
thing that I always stress with, whether it be with media or music, is owning your own. Because it's so important.
And you said independence, right?
Hmm.
Like people tend to look down at open mics like a lower tier stepping stone demo tape um
I don't know why them
platform.
shits are fire.
Right. They're a lot of fun. That's first things first. But I
Right.
think that it's an ignorant take in all actuality,
Yeah.
especially if you're an up and coming artist, because what they fail to realize, and here's the thing, and I don't really blame them. I blame more so the industry than anything else, because the industry is out here telling you have to flash cash and flash this and be with certain people and look a certain way. When in all actuality, all you just have to do is get out there and just do the groundwork, meet people,
Right.
network, earn that fan base. It's really starting from the grassroots of your brand, and that's really how I got started with everything that I'm doing, is hosting open mics, going to different open mic events, even now. Like, and I didn't get
Like I
started just
remember
yesterday, but
I did the rookie of the year open mic, and somebody actually hit me up. He said, "Yo, but you're not a rookie. It doesn't matter. Like, to me, yo, if I could get on an open mic, I'm gonna do it because there's a love that's still there, and it's
yeah,
all love. Like I've gone to showcases where it's like I have to look around to see who looks approachable because you got everybody with their own cliques, mean mugging. Then it's like I can't even greet a female because if her man's is there, is I'm like, yo, fam, why you talking to my girl? Like, dude, like I'm just doing what artists are supposed to do. So it's like, yo, a lot of the time when I go,
yeah.
I'm to myself.
I
All
noticed
that
that.
greeting happens when I get off stage.
Yeah,
Mm.
because really the
Like
crazy one.
I'll go perform, kill it, get off stage, yo, fam, you did your thing. I'm like, yo, good looks, like, yo, what's your Instagram, etc., etc. Because it's like, for me to walk in the building and just start dapping everybody up. Now the ones that do, those are the guys I definitely stand in front of the stage for. You came up to me with nothing but love. I'm standing in front of the stage with nothing but love, and I'm gonna watch you perform.
Yeah. And
Because if
people
that person,
actually people pay attention to that, believe it or not. And I'll give you a perfect example, right? Like I had been asked to host, or rather not host, but to be a judge for a competition, right? The competition was, they were sending one rapper to Atlanta. It was a dope show. I had a great time. But one of the judges that were next to me had noticed that one of the artists had dipped like right after his performance, and then other artists, they just went to the back of the bar to go get a drink while the artists were performing. And he was just like, yo, that turns me off when I see that. When I see artists that are unable to support other artists or unable to just, be a part of that
it
energy,
happens
like
all the time,
all the time,
all the
all the
time.
time,
I went
all the time.
the Blue Room in Sea Caucus. It was
Mm-hmm.
right connected. The building was connected to the Go-Go Bar, to AJ's.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have artists either at the bar or in the Go-Go spot, and then you'd have like the 15 to 25 people actually in the venue. Yeah, I've gone on the mic a couple times and talked hella shit
Yeah.
because it's trash. Like and that's one thing. Like I enjoyed about Major Stage, and I wish a lot of these showcases did this. First of all, they did a sound check. They did a
Mm-hmm.
sound check 30 minutes before the door opened. So we were in there, just the artists, nobody else. Artists and the sound engineer, whoever needed to be there for the sound check was there. We did the sound
Right.
check, got through it, doors open, played music, show started, etc. But the thing was is that every artist, they didn't overbook. It was every artist had 2 songs to perform.
Mm-hmm.
How they did it was whatever lineup in order they had, every artist performed 1 song,
Right.
intermission, go back around, perform the second song. So it's like you can't even leave after you perform.
Right.
So
And that's
if
why a
you
lot
came to
of
the venue, if you came to the venue with 40 people,
mhm.
that 40 people now have to stay.
Yeah. And that's why a
So you
lot of
can't
the open
perform
mics
in
set it up like that because they're like, all right, we'll have them perform one song. Let's go to an intermission. But you know that they're gonna get up there and perform again. So where are they going? Gotta do
and
it.
I think I think that should be that should be the new format because if someone like me, right, let's say I'm the last addition to the show
Hmm.
and I'm probably second to last performer.
Right.
You got the second performer who came in with about 40 people. So right now that them 40 people are taking up the majority of the venue. You want to be able to perform in front of those 40 people.
Hmm.
So for that person to perform and then leave, now you just got 40 people out of the building. For
Yeah.
someone like me who wants to be seen and wants to connect with people,
Won't.
now I'm 40 people, I'm minus 40 now.
Yeah. That's how it goes
I hate
down.
when people do that. The only time I do that, to be true, truthfully honest with you, is when it's a show that it's first place, second place, third place prize. Because them shows are overbooked. The judges leave before the end of the night, so the winners are not even judged.
Mm.
Um, the way they're introduced to the stage is even different. It's a different tone. That's what gives it away. So it's like, yo, disqualify me. Fuck do I care? I came, I performed for who I needed to perform in front of. I shook the hands I needed to shake. Peace. Because it's like you're overbooking, and I've said this many times. You probably rent the venue for about 400 to 500, right? Now,
Hmm.
if you throw a fancy name on the bill, like Atlantic Records A&R is gonna be in the building. All right, so right there, you're probably charging an artist about 100 to 150 for about 8 to 12 minutes. You're getting that money back that you put into the venue within the first 4 artists, maybe 5, depending on who you got to hit off, like the doorman, the security, the DJ, however it is. But you already make that back within 3 to 4 artists. Now you got the rest of the bill to put it in your pocket. So you're overcharging them. What are you really giving the artist? You're not giving them shit.
No. Essentially,
And that's
no.
and that's and that's the major problem that I have. I went a whole year without performing for that reason on purpose. And it wasn't until my first performance in Check It. That was the first performance of the year.
Mm.
My first appearance in Check It.
That's dope.
Because
I
I so happened to come across an open mic that I knew nothing about. I was like, holy shit, I need to get on this open mic.
yeah. And it's dope over there
So
too,
it's
man.
like how do you separate the thought, like how your outlook, like how do you separate the showcases from the open mics?
How do I separate the showcases from the open mics?
Yeah, like
Um,
atmosphere, crowd, the vibe.
I feel like a lot of them are one of the same. A lot of them are. Open mic showcase. I mean, the only thing different is that a lot of the showcases, people are there with the intent of supporting somebody that's in the showcase and just that person. Open mic is a little bit more free format, you know what I mean? Where like you really don't know who you're gonna get, depending on how the open mic is run. Because I've hosted various open mics and all of them have done it differently. But I find that showcases are definitely a lot of fun. But my passion is hosting open mics because I love that that energy of you don't know who's really going to come up and what they're going to do or how the audience is going to react. And I love feeding off of that spontaneity.
Yeah, because like even going, because I know how usually the check it is the newcomers usually go first before like the artist who's been performing.
Right.
So I kind of went into that open mic like, oh shit, like these guys don't even know what I'm about to do up here.
Yeah.
So then I got up there, and I'm telling you, every video that I posted from that night didn't even come from my camera. Like
Why not?
they all showed. Well, for one, the person I went with, he left the venue to go pick up his girl. But
Mm.
the thing is that a lot of them guys in there recorded my performance.
Well,
Ah, okay.
So a
let
lot
me
of that footage didn't even come from my phone.
pause. 1 second, 1 second. Rogue also went there. She told me, "Oh, I saw Ray performing, so I'm gonna take video."
Word.
No, that was the second time I went to check it. I don't
Oh,
recall seeing her at my first appearance. My
she
first appearance was
wherever I got you the video.
that was my that would have been my second appearance.
There you go.
But it's just like my thing was they didn't know what I was going up there to do.
Yeah.
And I went up there. I didn't know anybody. I stood to myself, how I normally am, humble.
Scorpio.
And just
Scorpio vibes,
when it's
yes.
time. Yep, exactly. And once it was time, once it was go time, the energy came out.
Definitely.
And I just think like I don't think that open mic should be looked at in such a lower tier because it's very and I don't even want to look at open mics as, oh, it's a development thing. You need to go there to perfect your performance presence. Nah, because open mics are very important to to everything that you do as an artist,
Pause.
Word.
because from there you build relationships.
So why can't you say it's still not helping an artist develop themselves? Like, yes, use it. That's like saying NXT wasn't the developmental brand for like so long. Why can't we?
Look,
There's some
hold
open
on, hold
mics
on,
that
hold on.
help. The fuck?
No, you're totally taking what I'm saying. You just heard what you heard.
You
Open
just
mic
heard
should
what you
not be
heard.
considered. Open mic should not be looked at in a lower tier.
Hmm.
So it's like if that's like me just starting out, yo, fuck that open mic. If this showcase got an A&R from Atlantic Records, I'm gonna go to the showcase.
That's
No
bullshit.
stage, no no stage experience whatsoever. Like open mics should stop. People need to stop looking at open mics as a lower tier to develop your stage presence. You can develop your stage presence anywhere. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It doesn't matter the what label it falls under, whether it's a showcase, open mic, concert, festival. It doesn't matter because if I had no experience and my cousin looked me out, yo, Ray, I'm gonna be DJing at the Puerto Rican festival in the Bronx. I want you to get on stage. No stage experience. Sure, let's do it. It doesn't matter what it is. Open mics is still very it's still a very important platform for an artist to get on.
Agreed.
The EO dub,
Agree.
the EO dub is not nobody. If you're a hip hop head, you don't look at the EO dub as a development platform because the EO dub is known for having great fucking MCs, Immortal Technique, and other MCs and MCs have gone on tour from that platform.
Right.
So open mics, people need to stop looking at open mics as a lower tier. Oh, this is beneath me. Nah, because you need that just the same way you need to spend fucking $600 on a show that K Slay is picking the winner. The K Slay is not even gonna show up for. If you can moderate a versus battle between two of your favorite artists, or not even artists,
Mm.
um, let's say podcasters or media like a Whoopi Goldberg. If you can moderate a versus battle between two people, who would it be?
I'm gonna have to go with this only because I really feel like this is a versus that should happen. Janet Jackson versus Madonna. I would want to be there for that shade.
Okay.
I feel like they those queens would go at it, and they both have the longevity in their career and the long, extensive catalog to do it, and they both had the same time frames.
Wow. Now, are we getting Danny Ray sober for this? Or are we getting Danny Ray intoxicated for this?
Why would I need to be intoxicated for that?
You know what I mean? Fucking Janet Jackson and Madonna.
I mean, maybe a little
You gonna
sunshine.
be up there doing
Maybe,
your Janet Jackson moves and shit?
you know what I mean? A little sunshine. Sunlight, though. I'm moderating. I'm working.
If there's anything that you want people to take away from you as far as like, you know, your shows, like what is one thing that when when the mic is on and it's time for Danny Ray to do her thing, like what is one thing that you want people to like what is your thing? What do you want people to take away from you?
I want people to take away how much passion I have for it, how much I love what I do. And I want them to love listening to me as much as I love entertaining. You know, that's really just the goal. That's kind of what we do it for. You know, I mean, aside from our own personal selfish tendencies where it's like we just feel like we want to be heard or we feel like we want to be listened to. I really just want people to feel that same passion that I'm feeling, to know that I'm doing everything in my human ability to go after my dream. And maybe that'll ignite, you know, a fire or a flame under them to do the same. So that's really what the goal is about.
If there was a podcast Avengers created,
Podcast
would you throw yourself
Avengers.
in that? Would you throw yourself in the podcast Avengers?
Would I throw myself in the podcast Avengers? Sure. I want to be Black Widow though.
Yes!
So, and that leads me to this question.
Yes.
Joe Budden
Oh
What's up to
God.
V Henny?
now
I know
has the
V Henny's
Joe
tuning in.
Budden.
Joe
What up,
Budden?
V? Joe
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Joe Budden now has the Joe Budden Network, right?
He's a genius. Genius.
So,
Genius boss
do
ass
you
move.
think do you think the open mic heads need to group up and create the open mic network? And through the open mic network, do come across shows where they're highlighting artists, interviewing artists, playing up and coming artists' videos, and you'll have different open mics broadcasted live on the open mic network. Wouldn't that be so fucking ill?
I think that would be cool. I could totally see a platform for that. Definitely. Obviously, it would have to be like a live streaming joint. You know, I would see it as more like either as like an app or something like that, something that we could all tap into. That'd be dope.
I, I want to
Uh,
see a Joe Budden app.
So what? I'm
Wait,
sorry.
like a Danny Ray app or a Joe Budden app?
No, he was
no, we're
saying like
talking
just go ahead.
an
Fill her in, Ray.
open mic network.
Yeah.
That'd be dope.
Right.
It
Ray, you
would
better
be.
hurry up and
I think it
patent
would
it
be
and
so
come up
sick.
with it because it's
Why?
already
Why?
out there in the universe.
Nah,
You're
you
not
know what?
supposed to. You're not
Nah, you
supposed to
know the
say your
thing.
good ideas, yo.
Hmm. Nah, you know what the thing is, yo, is that I've always been one person that I'm tired of seeing artists being taken advantage of. So it's like, you know what? If
Yeah.
someone took that idea, as long as you do right by it, have it. Because I know at
Yeah.
the end of the day, the artist is gonna benefit from it and not get jerked.
That's true. That's a good. See, that's
That's
a good
that's
perspective
that's
to have.
yeah, like this, like I think of other people who have their own shows like Reflections with Val and the Lyrical Fix podcast, and they're never, not that I ever even thought of this is, but I never wanted to be looked at as MIDI competition. Not at all. That was like never. My thing is I want to connect minds, like-minded minds, and you know what? If somebody can come here, then they can go to Danny Ray, or they can go to Lyrical Fix or Reflections of Val or V Henny Show. That's my whole purpose of this. It's not as much as I'm soaking in everything that's being said.
Mm-hmm.
I also want an artist who's watching that doesn't know shit to be able to pull from it as well and take that, utilize it, and go off.
Oh, my dog felt
That's
like
the
making an
this.
Hi,
appearance.
Panda.
This is Panda, guys. Sorry.
It's
Listen,
Hi,
she does what she
Panda.
no.
wants.
This is,
She
Hi,
has a mind of her
Panda.
own. She knows it's time for mommy to eat and for her to eat. And
oh shit.
that's just, she was like,
That's
girl,
all cute.
that's,
But
you saw it.
with that being said, Danny Ray, thank you so much for coming on
Thank you.
Quarantine and Rap. Please plug whatever it is you wish to plug.
Listen, come and check me out Sunday through Thursdays, 9 p.m. on Station Head. Go and search and follow the Corner Radio app and tune in at 9 p.m. La Cocina Podcast. Season 7 will be coming soon. How soon? I don't know. You got to keep it locked. Stay tuned. You can definitely check me out on Instagram, DANIREE. Your girl Danny Ray, and let's get connected. You know what I mean? Ray, you know the vibes. We out here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being on Quarantine and Rap. Danny, just real quick, you're gonna be chilling in the backstage area with Katie while I do my famous sign off.
You got it.
Yo, so ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody who tuned into Quarantine and Rap. As all of you know, I try to bring people on here who I feel like can give some insight. And for independent artists who are watching to pick up shit, utilize it, and take off with it. You know, Quarantine and Rap is for the artist. It helped me. It's been helping me to engage with everybody that I've had on. Quarantine and Rap is for you. It's for the MC. It's for the singer, the producer, the beat maker, whatever it is you do. If you have a dope story, don't be afraid to hit me up to get you on Quarantine and Rap, and let's talk. Let's politic. On another note, October 22nd, I'll be having my live stream EP listening event in Crave Cave, New Jersey from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Make sure you tag a friend, share my profile. Make sure y'all like my page. So on October 22nd, you'll be able to tune in live and listen to my EP days before it actually releases. And on that note, you already know how I end my shit all the time. I'm Ray Pearson, the Bar Christ, Suave Ramon, Ray.